In the vast span of baseball history, some remarkable stories often slip through the cracks. Join us as we unravel the tale of a forgotten hero, Eric Davis, whose electrifying talent once promised to reshape the game. Hailed as a five-tool player, Davis burst onto the scene in the 1980s, captivating fans with his speed, power, and defensive prowess. However, despite his meteoric rise, Davis's journey took unexpected turns, leaving many to wonder what could have been. In this video, we delve into the highs, lows, and unfulfilled promise of Eric Davis, the overlooked legend whose legacy deserves a second look. Eric Keith Davis, the second of three children of Jimmy and Shirley Davis, was born in California. While growing up, college wasn't calling his name, and the NBA's traditional route through the NCAA didn't captivate his dreams either. Instead, he set his sights on the diamond. Now, the Cincinnati Reds, with a keen eye for talent, plucked the young prodigy from the draft board in the 8th round, 200th overall of the 1980 MLB draft. Interestingly, in the same draft, another star, Darryl Strawberry, one of Davis's friends, was selected first overall by the New York Mets. Well, this is where it all began. It wasn't just a journey from LA to Cincinnati, but a saga of choices that shaped a baseball career destined for greatness. Or so everyone thought. The curtain rose on Davis's major league debut in 1984, a spectacle marked by his sheer physical prowess and the promise of becoming one of the game's most electrifying players. A rare five-tool player, he embodied home run power and blinding speed on the base paths, drawing comparisons to legends like Willie Mays. Of course, it wasn't long before he hit his stride in 1986, showcasing a batting average of .277 with 27 homers and an amazing 80 stolen bases. Plus, a stellar feat in his career was when, alongside Rickey Henderson, he earned the exclusive membership to the 2080 Club in Major League history. But that's not all to his success story. The pinnacle of this obviously talented player's brilliance unfolded in a 162-game stretch from June 11, 1986 to July 4, 1987. Now picture this: 47 homers, 149 runs, 123 RBIs, and 98 stolen bases. It was really a jaw-dropping display where he was caught stealing just a dozen times. The momentum continued into 1987, marked by an opening day spectacle and a historic May, where Davis etched his name in baseball history as the first ever player to hit 3 grand slams in a single month. Clearly, he was rewriting the record books. Closing the chapter in 1987, this player left an indelible mark on the game with a .293 average, 37 homers, and 50 stolen bases. Moreover, he joined the 30-30 club, playing only 129 games, which makes the feat even more remarkable. From 1986 to 1990, Davis was the embodiment of excitement and fantastic gameplay, averaging 30 home runs and 40 stolen bases per season. No doubt he was one of the top players of the decade and was consistently making MVP waves. At his peak in 1990, he played a pivotal role in Cincinnati's wire-to-wire championship season, and the World Series of 1990 became etched in history when Davis homered off Oakland's Dave Stewart in his first at-bat and sparked a sweep for the Reds. However, the sweet victory was tempered by a lacerated kidney, which he suffered during the series. As injuries took a toll post-1990, Davis struggled to reclaim his former glory. Of course, a trade to the Dodgers in 1991 and subsequent stints with the Tigers showcased glimpses of his former brilliance, but injuries continued to cast a long shadow over his later years. Despite these setbacks, though, a determined Davis mounted a comeback with Cincinnati in 1996, delivering a solid season with a .287 average and 26 home runs. The journey continued with a free agent signing by Baltimore, proving that Davis, despite the trials, was a resilient force in the world of baseball. But fate had other plans. In a stunning twist of fate, May 1997 cast a dark shadow over Davis as he was diagnosed with colon cancer. Indeed, the diagnosis was a major blow, one he never thought he'd ever have to deal with. But fueled by a dogged resilience, he returned to the field by September, still in the throes of treatment, and much to everyone's surprise. Luckily, Davis not only regained his form, but also went on to make another significant mark in his career when he smashed a game-winning home run in the 1997 American League Championship Series. The culmination of this determined player's triumphant return saw him bestowed with the prestigious Roberto Clemente Award after the season. But it didn't end there, because he made another compelling return for the 1998 season, crafting one of his career's finest chapters, batting a stellar .327, which was 4th in the AL, and swatting 28 home runs. Another remarkable feat achieved by the star during this season was hitting safely in 30 consecutive games, adding another layer to his legacy of resilience and excellence. Even his former Reds teammate Paul O'Neill immortalized Davis, labeling him as the best hitter, best runner, best outfielder, best everything he ever witnessed. This was by all means a tribute to Davis's multifaceted brilliance on the field. Sadly, the sun began to set on Eric Davis's illustrious career after 1999, as 3 injury-marred seasons with St. Louis and San Francisco preceded his eventual retirement in 2001, signaling the end of an era in baseball excellence. Davis penned his autobiography, Born to Play, in 1999, offering readers a glimpse into his journey, and it was filled with many insights into the events of his career. In the book, he credited the legendary Pete Rose for instilling faith in him and imparting invaluable wisdom about the game. However, not all chapters of the book were rosy, as he candidly expressed discontent with 1996 Reds manager Ray Knight. Obviously, their tumultuous on-field clash in 1986 lingered, with Davis accusing Knight of negligence in contract negotiations and inadequate support during his comeback. The bitterness also seeped into his reflections on the Reds' treatment after his World Series injury. According to the book, this baseball legend was stranded in Oakland post-series and pleaded for a private plane back to Cincinnati, but was only met with repeated refusals. So much so that, in the end, he had to chart his own course home after hospital release. Now, that's definitely not how to treat a player. Fast forward to 2017, and Davis had transitioned into a hitting instructor role for Elite Development Invitational in Vero Beach, Florida. And beyond the confines of the diamond, he tirelessly championed increased African-American youth participation in baseball, perpetuating yet another legacy as a mentor and advocate. At this point, it is crucial that we go over the mind-boggling stats and career of this fantastic player once again, to fully appreciate the high potential and power he wielded, even before we talk about what really went wrong. It's a fact that Davis had all the numbers in his playing days, spanning 1,626 games across 17 illustrious seasons. His formidable presence on the field translated into a .269 batting average, with 1,430 hits out of 5,321 at-bats. The stat sheet illuminated his versatility, boasting 938 runs, 239 doubles, 26 triples, and a remarkable 282 home runs that resonated with the fans anywhere he played. Indeed, this player's impact extended beyond mere power, as obviously seen in his 934 RBIs and impressive 349 stolen bases, embodying a rare fusion of brawn and speed. His discerning eye at the plate also manifested with 740 bases on balls, contributing to a stellar .359 on-base percentage. The defensive realm also witnessed his acumen, as he rounded off his career with a remarkable .984 fielding percentage while seamlessly navigating all 3 outfield positions. But then sadly, it seems like all these things did not count in the grand scheme when it mattered most, as this star player is mostly forgotten. And you might begin to wonder now, how did the world forget a guy who was so good? Perhaps you are asking the same question right now. What made this amazing journey lack the much-needed final impact it deserved? Well, maybe Davis was just unlucky. Maybe he had it all, but never really got that extra factor needed to make a real statement. Or maybe it was just fate dealing him a hand with all the injuries that worked against his very interesting career. No matter how you choose to see it though, you can't deny that this guy was the epitome of excellence at certain points during his up and down career. In all, we just have to agree that Davis had everything on his side but fate, and fate as we know it can be very cruel sometimes.